किसी महापुरुष ने कहा है, कामयाब होने के लिए नहीं, काबिल बनने के लिए पढ़ो। सक्सेस के पीछे मत भागो, एक्सेलेंस के पीछे भागो और सक्सेस झक मार के तुम्हारे पीछे आएगी। प्रोफेसर MM Sharma is truly a real life example to this dialogue. This man here needs no formal introduction. Hailing from the city of Jodhpur to Cambridge, back to India to serve the nation, he has a remarkable performance throughout his life. He has an exemplary record and a shelf full of awards, starting from Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, and the only Indian engineer to be elected as a member of the Foreign Royal Society. ऐसा बहुत ज़्यादा होने की संभावना है कि आप एक ऐसा प्रोडक्ट यूज़ कर रहे हो जिसमें सर का डायरेक्ट या इनडायरेक्ट कंट्रीब्यूशन रह चुका है. सो व्हाट विल दिस पॉडकास्ट ब्रिंग यू टू द टेबल? We'll be talking about Sir's life, Sir's perspective towards life, and some core values which made Sir what he is today. So let's hop in for a light-hearted conversation with MM Sharma sir. Let's go. Hi guys, I am Kunal, and today I have the honor of hosting Professor MM Sharma. So I have a blend of emotions right now. I am really nervous as well. I am elated to have him here, and in a word, I'm really honored. So sir, thank you for this opportunity. So sir, the first question which comes to my mind when I see you is that you truly are an overachiever.
That you consider, not me.
Yeah, so for us, you are definitely an overachiever. So sir, did you manifest this all?
See, I'm a self-made man. I came from Jodhpur when nobody understood what is chemical engineering. My teachers in the college couldn't guide me. But just as one of you said, it was my interest in chemistry and maths. So I started searching. And people knew about VGTI, so I wrote a postcard to VGTI. They were so good that they sent that postcard to UDCT. UDCT sent me a reply, yes, we have chemical engineering course and there are seats for Rajasthan, you can apply.
Oh,
That's how it started. And I landed here. But one teacher did tell me there is something in Banaras. Otherwise they know. And I had problem with my grandfather. He used to ask me, what is chemical engineering? He said, I know civil engineering, I know mechanical, I know electrical, but what is it? Next time I go, again he'll ask me. Again I'll explain to him. We had a civil engineering college, a very good college in Jodhpur.
Okay.
And it was headed by an ex-Roorkee fellow. But I didn't want to do civil engineering. Because I could have walked into that college. I had a rank in whole of Rajputana, as it was called. Rajasthan name came later.
Yes.
In fact, my certificate for inter and high school is University of Rajputana.
Oh.
So, in order that I don't deviate, I didn't even apply to the college, engineering college in Jodhpur. And they worked very early. In those days, UDCT used to open on 20th of June.
Okay.
So I was here on 16th of June. And I had my childhood friend who had business in Bombay. He came to receive me at Bombay Central. And none of you would believe in those times Victorias used to run. So I went not for pleasure but actual vehicle. So I went from Bombay Central to Kalba Devi in a Victoria.
Oh.
So my first experience of riding a Victoria. That's how it all happened.
Right.
And we were only 20. That time the class consists of only 20 people.
Yeah.
And of to these 20, only 12 of us went into plug, some left. And of them, 4 are in Bombay.
Okay.
3 are no more. One is in Canada, one is in US. But we 4 in Bombay, we are friends for 70 years and we meet. We meet for lunch.
That's a very deep
one of them whose name you would have heard in UDCT, Mukashi. So he's my classmate.
Okay.
Another one was who retired from Livers, Banerjee. And the fourth person was the one, I don't know, any one of you remember when the revolution came of, transistors. The most famous transistor was Bush Baron. And my classmate, his family was responsible for introducing this. He did chemical engineering with us, then MS in MIT, knowing that he will be joining his family business in electronics. And 1 year ahead of us was Kishore Mariwala, whose name you hear he died recently. But although he was 1 year ahead of us, he was as good as our classmate. So he used to be part of our lunch. And that because they are members of Wellington Club, we used to have lunch in Wellington Club. Mulchandani is member of Wellington Club. Then we had additional 1 or 2 person added, and one of them was Ashwin Dani, who graduated in paint technology and a substantial owner of Asian Paints.
Yes.
He died also about a year ago. So I lost many of my contemporary friends. It has been an extraordinary journey because my lifelong friends were just my classmate, but in addition to my classmate, co-hostelites. And my first roommate was textile fellow. So the textile fellows all became my friends. And they all ended up as printing master, finishing master, or general manager of the textile mill. When textile was flourishing in a big way, they were big guys. They became big shot. One in Calico, one in Arvind Mill, one in Empire Mill, one in Morarji Mill, like that, one in Raymond. So all these fellows didn't do MSc Tech. They most went after BSc Tech. And because 2 years, that time BSc Tech was 2 years. So my roommate was, so the other textile fellows will come to my room and chat. And there was one nice joke. Actually it's fact, but the joke, I'll tell you. So this guy used to mug up textile auxiliaries. And I used to retire earlier, not affected by their, but sometime when I was out, so I used to hear all those textile auxiliaries. While chatting, they will get stuck. I said, तुमको ये तो मालूम है, ये तो तुम रोज रटते हो, अभी क्या हो गया तुमको? I know this molecule because you are discussing. अरे तू तो सो रहा है, तुमको क्या मालूम? मैंने कहा कान तो बंद नहीं है ना. So little did I know that my first consultancy will be the textile auxiliary company.
Yes.
So I had familiarity. So there were fellows from, because when I was doing masters, I was doing with Professor Kamath, who was in PPV. And I used to take lessons in macromolecular chemistry and all along with my research work. And that time we became friends with Raj Purohit, who started the chemical process equipment, one of the most outside, he's my neighbor.
Oh.
The FRP equipment, very sophisticated engineering equipment, not chairs and or cycle stand covers and all. I'm talking of electrostatic precipitators, 10 meters in diameter, 15 meters in diameter, which is constructed at JNPT site itself because you can't freight it. So along with him, I used to attend classes, so he became my lifelong friend. And he persuaded me to come to here, and he persuaded the previous owner of this house to sell the house. That happened about 24 years ago. So after all my life in ICT, I came to Chembur, first in Swastik Park for about 4.5 years, and I'm here for now 24 years. So hostel friends, now one by one I lost them. Many of my PhD students are no more. That gives me a bit of discomfort whenever I hear that person is no more. One of them, you probably won't know, Atul Kaji. He used to come and you would know. Atul Kaji was a well-known personality, giving talk on human relations and also management. He was one of my early PhD students, and he was a faculty member also. Life is like that, it's fragile.
Yes.
If somebody was giving an interview, this Friedman in an interview with Modi.
Lex Friedman, yes.
He said, I said, you are born. The only thing guaranteed after that is death. If you are born, one day you will die.
That's completely on point.
The hostel life is naked life. There is nothing you can hide.
In the summer,
And if you privately brought some eatable, before you realize they are gone.
that is
What used to happen on the second floor, first floor and second floor in the old hostel, there were no grills.
Oh.
So, suppose in my adjoining room the fellow got some sweets. Unknown to him, we will go to the parapet, climb into his room, take out all the sweets before he realizes all gone. He comes to his room and sees all my sweets gone. There was one girl who came to study pharmaceutical, and her house was next to Bank of Maharashtra,
Okay.
between Khasa College and
Ah,
VGTI.
yes.
And that family was known to me. So I told her that you have joined pharmaceutical, all your classmates will bug you for home food. And her mother was a great sport. See, number of classmates she fed on number of occasions was something to be seen. But I had warned them in advance that this will happen. My own flat, in the staff quarters, my daughter did B.Pharm, graduated in 91. So it was an open house. Her classmates used to freely come and go. And at that time, telephones hardly used to work, but my telephone used to work. So many of the mothers, because out of the class of 2018 were girls. So we became like a savior. Anybody in trouble, they can phone us. Then when I was in director's flat, my son was doing chemical engineering. He graduated in 91. So that was also open house. And the terrace is so big, I'd put a floodlight. They used to play cricket with his classmates living in hostel.
Wow.
Open, all the security fellows knew those kids.
Yes.
And it was so big that we won't even know who has come and gone. So we enter, right hand side was his, left hand side was ours. We didn't know what is happening there.
Right.
And for your interest, my wife told my son that this is kitchen, these are the various things. Now all of them, like you people, they will feel hungry at midnight. So whatever was there, nothing ever got spoiled. Everything was finished. If you are sweet, there was nothing in the morning. By chance, if something was left, it went to hostel. So it was very nice. What I'm trying to tell is we had open house. So not only we lived, it was always open to students coming, going. Very enjoyable. I mean, being a student and then continuing all life is very, very uncommon.
Right. So, sir, about chemical engineering, what people have in mind about chemical engineering is that this practice is unsustainable. You don't create that much and you spoil the environment. So, what is your insight about this?
That is a very wrong impression. Actually, chemical engineering is a problem solver. Let me give you one very simple example. Who solved the problem of automobile exhaust? The three-way catalyst was all developed by chemical engineers.
Oh, yes.
So if you look at your mobile phone, all the components are products of chemical industry.
Around us is also all chemistry.
Everything chemistry. So much so that when a boy meets a girl, they don't say there is biology, there is a chemistry between them. Chemistry is life, life is chemistry. So that is, you can say, chemical engineering is life and life is chemistry. I used to give the introductory lecture to incoming students. As soon as they joined and the courses started, every year, how did I introduce chemical engineering? Human life and chemical engineering. Listen, can you breathe without super fast reaction between oxygen and hemoglobin?
No.
What is the reaction? You can't measure that kinetics. That is half-life is less than millionth of a second. Oxygen solubility in water is negligible. Right?
Yes.
If you do exercise, you have to exhale carbon dioxide. How do you exhale carbon dioxide without catalysis of the bicarbonate going to carbonate? There is an enzyme in our blood called carbonic anhydrase. If you don't have carbonic anhydrase in your blood, there is no way you can indulge in exercise. All right, that is only starting point. What is the most outstanding material of construction? Liver. It can stand alkaline, it can stand acidic. Which is the most maintenance-free pump?
Kidney.
Heart pump.
Heart.
Which is the most important dialysis?
Kidney.
Kidney. So you take every function. What is the best example, good example of crystallization? Bone setting.
Yes.
What is the worst example of crystallization? Kidney stone.
It's a chemical plant.
It's all chemical engineering.
Yes.
Now if you talk of replacements, what is the material of construction of the hip joint? Ultra high molecular weight polyethylene.
Yes. Even the enamel on our teeth.
Not only enamel, filler.
Yes. Fillers.
It is photocurable resin. Those who are from polymer, it's a photo. You will see when you go to dentist, he cures it with
Right.
with a lamp,
Injector. Yes.
a special lamp. Instantaneously it polymerizes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now teeth itself is an outstanding example of crystallization. But kidney stone is a wrong. What is the reference? That if you have the blockade because of deposition in heat exchangers, take the clue from what happens in the body. If your water was not treated properly, you have anti-crystallization
Right.
and you get a coating.
Fouling in heat
So,
exchangers.
I explain relevance of chemical engineering with respect to human body. If you want transpiration cooling, skin.
Skin. Yeah.
So everything, Achha. Then if you want to see, when people say this thing against polymer, so I said all of you, now men also wear contact lenses because they also want to look handsome. Girls, when you have pair of ophthalmologists, husband and wife both practicing, wife makes contact lenses, she makes much more money than her husband. Because when the girl gets married, she gets 4 or 5 pairs of contact lenses with color matching the sari, what dress she is going to wear. So what is that contact lens made of?
A polymer. Yes.
Sophisticated hydroxyethyl methacrylate polymer. So can you do without?
No.
Can you wash your clothes without?
Nah.
Can you take bath without toilet soap?
No.
So how is life? Can you have entertainment without produce of chemical? Can you have an automobile without product of chemical? Everything is product of chemical industry in an automobile. It's called an automobile. But right from paint to tire to urethane,
The engine, everything is.
even your bumpers.
Yeah. Polymer mixed
So,
into it.
life is not possible without produce of. It's an essential industry. That's why people should propagate that how essential. Now we have a product called hydrogen peroxide, which is used from cleaning of airs to taking care of pollutants
Yes.
and using as a reactant because it only leaves water.
Right.
Nothing can be cleaner than that.
Yes.
Now, during COVID time, if you wanted all the hospitals to be free from, so what were you using? Hypochlorite solution? They were washing all.
Yes. Everything
gave that?
contaminated.
Achha. Who gives the gloves?
Chemical industry.
Okay. Who gives the syringe? So all the problems associated with contamination they are disposable syringes, sterilized. So there is no question of glass syringe being sterilized and somebody failed in sterilizing.
Right.
Now if you have sunglasses, what is the frame made of?
A polymer. Yes.
One of the best is cellulose acetate. If your number is more, you don't use a glass lens, you use a polymer lens because glass lens is too heavy.
Yes. Yes.
So you can link with everything where you have no option but to take produce of chemical industry.
Right.
You don't crib about it.
Hmm.
You want
This was a
explosives?
great- Yeah.
For mining, who gives explosives? Now, if they go in the hands of terrorists, don't blame us. That is a civil.
Yes. That's a perfect answer actually. Sir, so we'll now have a rapid fire round with you. So in the rapid fire round, you have to answer these questions under 30 seconds. Okay. So sir, the first question is that if you were not a chemical engineer, what career would you pursue?
I would have become a chemist or a mathematician.
Sir, describe your life as an element from the periodic table, and why would you say that?
I won't link my thing to a periodic table. In only way is A to Z. I've been dealing with A to Z products of chemical industry in my consulting.
Which scientist would you like to have a dinner with? Past scientist, present, like
From India or
any.
in India with Professor C.N.R. Rao.
And from abroad?
From abroad, my own supervisor, Professor Dankworth.
Oh,
He
Cambridge supervisor. Yes, right. If there is a biopic on you, what would be the title for the biopic?
I gave, in fact, I did pen my autobiography to some level, but my friend said it will convert into a biography. That biography is, the title I have given is My Fulfilling Life.
My fulfilling life. Okay. Sir, what is your favorite movie if you watch movies?
I don't watch movies, but old movies I'll watch. Because when you are in a hostel, somebody decides, chalo. So Aurora Cinema used to work. So after dinner, you could go in pajamas. 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes walk, 10 anna, the ticket in those days.
Yes.
So that collective is chalo. So chalo.
What was the last movie you watched, if you remember?
Yes, that movie of 95, 96, who is still very popular, Shah Rukh Khan and... Yes.
Oh.
I think I did watch one movie after that. Oh, that Hrithik Roshan's where he carries out the stunts and all.
Krish.
Well, what used to happen, but I'm very fond of songs.
Yeah, this is
I
my
can
next
compete
question.
with you in Antakshari.
Oh, wow.
I can try.
Wow. What is your favorite song, sir?
Oh, I have many favorite songs.
You always rejoice when the song plays. What is
Oh,
that
I
one song
play.
you would like
Oh, I have
to
many,
hear?
many. Aji root kar kahan jaiyega.
Yeah.
That is one of them. There are many.
That's amazing.
In fact, the whole of last year was Mohammad Rafi's centenary year.
Yeah.
And I am a patron of South Indian Education Society, which owns Shanmugha Namawar.
Right.
Out of 12, 10 events I attended because 2 events I was not in Bombay.
Okay.
And they are all Mohammad Rafi songs. So there are many Mohammad Rafi songs. But the singer, you people, unless you have taken interest in old singers, have you ever heard Noorjahan's songs? She was one of the greatest singers. In fact, Lata Mangeshkar always used to consider Noorjahan as her model. And if you listen to her song in 1948-49 movie Barsat of Raj Kapoor, she sings copying Noorjahan. Then she got her own.
Okay.
And she became famous with the song of Aayega Aane Wala. That was 1950.
Okay.
Although those songs were extraordinary in lyrics and music, everlasting.
The lyrics.
The composition is unique.
If you see Indian Idol or Saregama, you will find all these young kids singing only old songs.
They were very tough also.
So even if they had some heroine who came, so for example Mumtaz came, so these young kids were singing songs which Mumtaz sang in the...
Yeah, now in Bollywood also they are making the remakes of old songs.
No, I
only.
know, but what has happened, the youngsters have different taste.
Yes, that is there.
So the movies are now made for people between 16 and 21. There are very few movies which are meant for family. Bhagwan was one such movie of Chopra.
Right.
Amitabh Bachchan, Hema Malini and all. Salman Khan. So I don't see movies, but I'm not ignorant of. I know many, and I attend programs. Hemant Kumar night, Mukesh night. Then some people who are fans, they will bring a singer, sing songs composed by Madan Mohan, like that. But you people won't know that original classics which Sehgal sang, and music was by Pankaj Malik. Sehgal would insist, because he was actor, hero, that the recording must be in his voice. But there was a parallel record of Pankaj Malik. And it's nice to compare sung by Pankaj Malik and sung by.
Right.
By the way, Sehgal used to live near UD City,
Wow.
in that lane.
Acha.
There are many actors. Manna Dey used to stay in that lane next to my Bank of Maharashtra. Bank of Maharashtra building, which was original, he used to stay there. K.N. Singh used to stay near BJTI. Manmohan Singh used to stay there. Whole Kapoor family was on Masani Road.
That's nice.
So why I'm saying that we came, coming from it was great fun to go and watch actors and actresses.
Yes.
That is the reason why I'm saying.
Right. Sir, in your college days, did you play any kind of sports or extracurricular activities?
I was playing ring tennis.
Ring tennis.
Between hostel and mess, there used to be a net.
Okay.
Not only that, me and one person, we took for the first time in 1956, 57, 58, UD City team in the inter-college competition to semi-final.
Wow. Sir, another question is that if you could put one chemical equation on a billboard, what would it be? Like, you feel that this is the most important, the crux of life.
Nitrogen plus hydrogen going to ammonia.
Oh.
If you take Chemical Heritage magazine, if you take all-time biggest development in the history of chemical industry, this is a universal opinion, not of me. It was the Haber process of nitrogen plus hydrogen. The reason was you are taking two inactive molecules and still you made them react.
Right.
So, but for ammonia, population would have never increased, because originally most people do not know that ammonia was done to make nitric acid for explosives.
Right.
Make TNT. Fertilizers came later. Without fertilizer, the production of wheat, rice and all would have been abnormally low. And people would have died of hunger. That's why 1914, Haber, both got Nobel Prize.
Right.
Only time an engineer got Nobel Prize was Bosch.
For the Bosch process.
Haber Bosch, Karl Bosch.
Process. Yes.
Because catalyst was developed by Haber, he was a physical chemist. Unless it was engineered well, because it was working at 300 bar, 400 bar, even up to 1000 bar. So that is the most important development in the history of chemical industry. It has saved millions of lives.
Right. Sir, what's the most bizarre food combination you secretly enjoy?
Dal doksi with a dash of rice.
That's nice.
And you are not, you are good, you know.
I know dal dhokli. Yes.
But there is an equivalent of this in desert area in my hometown Jodhpur. It's called rotiyon ki khichdi.
Acha.
See what happens when you excess rotis, because humidity is very low, you hang them on the chopper.
Yes.
In 3 days they become dry.
Right.
And use that to make khichdi with this.
Acha.
It's called rotiyon ki khichdi. Dal dhokli is different. But that is another preparation. So my mother used to ask me, what do you want? Itni saadi cheez wo. I go, that is.
Sir, what would be a theme song for chemical engineering or chemistry? One theme song.
Your theme song means you say Rasayan ki duniya. And if I can quote Tulsidas, Ram Rasayan tumre pasa sada raho Raghupati ke pasa. See, Rasayan word was used by Tulsidas how many years ago?
Right, that was quick.
Rasayan Shastra.
Yes.
Ram Rasayan तुम्हारे पास सदा रहो.
रघुपति के दासा. Sir, so I have one question in my mind regarding the technicality of so what is going on is all sustainability practices and all. So recently, 3 days back, I saw in the news that there is a $86 trillion reserve of white hydrogen found in France.
Yeah, I know that many things are said.
Yeah, so
See that geological America also they have said it will take long time. But more manageable thing, see those reserves are still small.
okay.
The reserves which are abnormally large, I'm not talking of coal, natural gas hydrates. So suppose you say proven reserves of natural gas is X. Not proved Y, which may be bigger than X,
Right.
like in Iran and Russia. But take that together, the proven reserves, of natural gas hydrate is several multiple. Now this is an interesting exercise in thermodynamics. How under pressure methane forms hydrate with water.
Okay.
Now they are typically at the depths of about 3 kilometers because that is the pressure. You are talking of pressures like 200 bar, 300 bar. The harvesting of that, still nobody has been able to perfect technology.
Okay.
Whether by depressurization or by putting. Japan, because they have no hydrocarbon, they are the people on the forefront of method of harvesting. Chinese are also doing. It can revolutionize if a viable technology is developed to exploit natural gas hydrate. You will have any amount of methane you want. Literally easily for under another 200 years.
Wow.
So this natural gas hydrate, even India, fortunately, our coast, both west coast, east coast, even in the Godavari, Krishna Godavari, we have proven reserves of gas hydrates.
Yes.
Near Kerala also. Throughout, we have, and they are reliable. These are done by geoscientists and all. So there is no element of doubt about existence of throughout the world, but including India. We have our reserves of natural gas hydrate are many multiples of whatever natural gas reserves we have found out or exploiting.
So, sir, talking about China, so 95 to 96% of the rare earth elements is with China, and there are countries which are using the North Pole and they are using the acquisition of North Pole to extract rare earth elements.
It's not 90. What happened? The others are not exploited. See, even we have rare earths.
Okay,
No,
but we have not explored it
We
as
have
of now.
not. See, United States had plants. Now, because Chinese were selling at low price, they didn't exploit. It's not that we don't have ores.
Okay.
There are rare. Now, for example, why Trump is interested in Ukraine? Because they have rare earth reserves. Russia has.
Russia, yes.
Australia has.
Australia, yes.
Even we have. We have still not made full use of cerium and thorium. And there are now unusual sources of rare earths. You will be amused in coal ash. Certain varieties of coal ash have.
Rare earth elements.
In fact, if you take many phosphatic ores, they have uranium. There are commercial plant of uranium recovery in phosphoric acid plants in Florida.
Achha.
The Florida phosphatic rock has uranium content. The one from Morocco has uranium content. From China, it doesn't have uranium. It's unusual source, but
Right.
America can produce easily 1,000 tons of yellow cake only from phosphoric acid plants. It's commercial. It's not something which in the air. So uranium being indispensable till we come out with thorium base. Nuclear power is what being talked about in a big way without CO2 emissions. And once they come with thorium, it will become much easier because thorium reserves are very extensive. India also has a huge amount of thorium, but is radioactive.
Right. So, sir, you are a mentor to a lot of students. Sir, I have a question. So, is there a student's success story that you are particularly proud of?
Many, not one. On top of the list is Mashelkar.
Yes.
He has become an icon in Pune and all that.
हाँ.
But you look, I mean, there is an easy criteria. He became Padma Vibhushan. J.B. Joshi became Padma Bhushan. J.D. Yadav became Padma Shri. I was the youngest fellow of Indian National Science Academy. Now, how many are? It is J.D. Yadav, J.B. Joshi, Mashelkar, Pandit. No chemist department in India has that many fellows of Indian nationals, and I even became president.
Right.
So, I have had many programs. My first PhD controlled $1 billion business in America.
Wow.
He went as postdoc, stayed, and, quite a benefactor of ICT.
Right.
So there are many of my students who are, I mean, you see Bhagwat, who has become director of
Yes,
ICER.
yes.
You take Gaikar, I think he is
Gaikar,
a
sir.
popular teacher.
Yeah,
with
he
you.
teaches us process
So he is
control.
so my job was to build people better than me.
Wow.
So we had no successor. You must, leadership should be known by not what you achieve, but what your associates have achieved.
Wow. That's deep. That's
So
really
you
deep.
see, J.B. Joshi became director, J.D. Yadav became vice chancellor. In a way, Anirudh Pandit was also my pseudo student, not directly. But
Right. Sir, in
we have at least one research paper with him, which is a highly quoted paper.
Yeah. Sir, so I've read about you that there's a thing you have said. Money does not matter, ideas matter. So, sir, could you give us an example where that you implemented it, where you had constraint in funds, but you carried it out very exemplarily?
That is how it happened. We became known in the world. I joined in 64. By 67, 68, we were known globally. This first PhD of mine had a major breakthrough. The breakthrough came in an experiment I was still a bachelor, in a beaker on a Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
And chemicals we used to borrow from industry. There was only grant of 17,000 rupees a year to run the lab. So I had no money for research, but there is another famous paper, Ramachandran, who was a brilliant mathematician. He has a book also. He then became professor in America, in Washington State University. He has a book on his paper, which is 100% theoretical, all analytical solution. Is one of the most classic paper in the world.
Wow.
So he was physically handicapped. He has a polio. So he was on an experiment project. I found had problems in doing experiment. So that is the first chemical engineering thesis from India, which is entirely theoretical, no experiment, and all analytical solutions. Maskar, who retired a few years ago, he also did theoretical work, but all were numerical solutions. And he used to get CDC 3600 computer time in TIFR only at midnight. So he used to go to midnight and do all his.
Sir, during your time at ICT, and you have visited the college now and then, so what do you feel the changes which has happened from the transition of our college?
It looks chic.
It looks
See,
strict.
Chic.
Okay.
If you see, I never changed my 33 years, my professorial room. I didn't change I had no air conditioner.
Wow. In Mumbai.
In my director's room, which I used to spend only part of the time, I never spent all the time in director. I had ration time that you can come to me for all administrative work for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. Rest of the time, I am either lecturing, library, or doing my work in professorial.
Sir, so you were more inclined towards like academia. Did you consider going into the business world and starting your own company?
No. But I've given enough ideas for fellow to make big money.
Yeah, but you never had that thing.
No, I was interested in teaching and research as a choice. I mean, you gentlemen don't know. I had fabulous offers in Europe and America,
Wow.
and also IITs.
Hmm.
I said, no, I'm going back to, and I know I had no money, but I said, I'll still do research. I was so confident. I did. Money started coming to Cambridge only in 80s. All our research, most outstanding research was done with a negligible sum of money. All these Nanda, Mashelkar, all these fellows worked with
No money.
practically no.
No money, yes.
All idea-centric. Chemicals we used to get gifted.
Borrow from plants.
We had very good relationship with industry. Even any FRP, any acrylic. First time in ICT, people use acrylic equipment. Was in Cambridge, and then people copied.
Right.
And all acrylic equipment was made by chemical process equipment at cost or sometimes free. So we made use of, for example, if I wanted to do experiment with ethylene, I wouldn't have money to import ethylene cylinder. But Union Carbide was running, and I knew they will take sample from the line. So these sample bottles would have about 200 grams. I said, give me that cylinder. I will return within a week. And they were obliged.
Right.
Because that if you cultivate nice relationship, so of course today you can't say that you can succeed in research only on idea. But even if you use most sophisticated equipment and all that, basic idea on which you are working is still critical.
Right.
So the question people ask is, how do you get ideas?
That's exactly my point. How do you get ideas? Sir, so as a
Ideas don't
student,
come when you sit down, where the ideas come.
yeah. So as a student, sir, I want to try something new. I want to do a research, but I don't know how to start about it. How to do it exactly?
See, when you read, I give you an example.
Yeah.
See, one of our celebrated paper is what we call microphases. That is, something is less than diffusion film thickness. Diffusion film thickness is few microns. Say, let's say 20 microns. So I would have particles in it or emulsion which will be 3 micron, 4 micron. It does wonders. How did I get that idea? I got that idea from artificial blood.
How, sir?
See, when you want artificial, the oxygen solubility in water is very low.
Very low.
But fluorocarbons, which are physiologically acceptable, the solubility is very high. Something like 15 to 20 times in water.
Okay.
Unless you emulsify that with water, and that is physiologically acceptable, that emulsifiers are also. So it has to be, it won't work if it was not less than the diffusion film thickness.
Right.
So I thought it was a good idea. And I was reading at random, not that I did any structured reading. I was reading something and came across this artificial blood. I said, looks like an interesting idea. So you get ideas. Fortunately, what happens in applied sciences, when you see things happening in industry, they give you a lot of clue. But what is not normally recognized, when you teach a course to students, and sometimes they ask questions, something occurs to you at that time that's worth an idea pursuing for PhD. It happens.
Sir, so there are a lot of branches in chemical engineering, the subsets of chemical engineering. What is your personal favorite? Polymer engineering, food, biotechnology, oils. What is that one
See,
branch
what happens
you
is
like?
today, in every area, the critical part is downstream processing, separation technology. If you take chemical plant, 80% of the investment, even in biotechnology, 80% of, suppose I am making interferon. Bulk of course it was critical, what is the bug which gave you interferon is a different case.
Right.
Let's say I am doing lactic acid. Now I have to have a bug which will allow fermentation. But that investment is typically less than 20% of the bulk of the investment is in downstream processing, separation.
Right.
So one of the core area for every area is the what we call downstream processing
Separation techniques.
in every area. If you take, for example, pharma, all right, you're taking pharma, most of the APIs are crystallized. So it is
Crystallization, yes.
and crystallized with lot of specifications. It, it must have right sort of particle size, right sort of particle size distribution. If there are polymorphs, which polymorph you got, sometimes you might amorphous. So practically all the drugs are finally in solid form.
Yeah, and the purity is also very important.
Purity, you are talking of impurity profile at parts per billion. Nitrosamine they have tracked at parts per billion,
Right.
not million.
That's a very happy.
For your information, when you talk of role of chemical industry, I give one uncommon example. You would say, what is the relationship with power generation? Right? How do you provide insulation?
So,
All the things which you insulate with what?
asbestos you have got.
No, asbestos is hazardous fire. All the insulation is done by polythene and things like that,
yes.
PVC and all.
PVC
But
insulation.
what is even more important, all high pressure boilers, supercritical. You know what is the specification for dissolved solid in water?
No, sir, I'm not aware of
Parts per billion. Right. If you want a little exercise to
it. Definitely.
take your brain,
Huh.
if there is 1 part per million of salt in water,
Huh.
and you have 1000 megawatt plant, right? Find out in a year how much salt you will deposit.
1000 megawatt plant, 1 ppm salt.
Only one. Find out. You will get a shocker.
Wow.
Do that calculation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, so there is a few questions.
So here people don't know that all boilers will come to standstill because there will be deposition. You have to shut the boiler clean. But for sophisticated ion exchange resins which allow.
Yes. So, sir, this is a personal question. If you were to go back in time, so what is that one thing you would have liked to change?
When I was felicitated time of my retirement, if sometime you measure, there is a video on that. There are several videos on mine which I have not seen. What I saw after so many years was about, after some 25 years, I saw the video of my felicitation at J.B. Joshi's house.
Huh.
My last sentence was, I made a living doing what I wanted to do, and I am willing to repeat it all over again.
Wow.
I made a living doing exactly what I had. Fabulous offers because I sold on my idea. See why this idea-centric thing got stuck with me. It is an idea that generated during my PhD time, entirely my own, and my supervisor clearly said it is your idea, he will not associate his name. That idea was patented, sold to Shell.
Okay.
I got big money. And Shell said, you have an offer in Europe, America, England, and NOCIL is coming up in India, you will become a very high
shot.
official there. I said, thank you. When you don't want, you get offers. I am going to go to my poor institute, try my luck. And by sheer accident, I became professor at 27 because for 10 years there was no professor in chemical engineering. First PhD in chemical engineering came only mine in 67.
Okay.
There was no PhD in chemical engineering. There were PhDs in dyes and
Other
oil and all,
departments.
not in chemical engineering.
Sir, what is that one quality which you think, of course there are a lot of qualities, but that one quality which makes you the MM Sharma, the exact legend as we say?
Integrity and commitment. Never compromise on your total commitment. So when I consult, it is not perfunctory.
Okay.
I have total commitment, 24/7.
Right.
That's why I'm with due modesty in so much demand at this age. I make much more money than I made as a professor. Even with my consulting there. 1/3 of my cut was more than my salary. So was J.B. Joshi.
Wow.
So is Pandit. So we people did academic work, but we also delivered. That is the DNA of UDCT.
Right.
Publish in the best journals and still deliver to industry.
UDC is
So
actually
G.T.
a,
Yadav was the first person in India to work with me on phase transfer catalysis. Organic chemists didn't know. I
Yeah.
tutored organic chemists.
sir told us about this in the podcast.
And we commercialized this right away. Even before he finished PhD.
Yes, sir told us. Wow. Yes.
So when we did cation action resin based, we published in the best journal, and same time we commercialized process in Hadilia and other company. The reaction which people were doing with paratoluene sulfonic acid, we replaced with cationic ion exchange resin, clean technology. We didn't brag that we are doing clean technology, but we did it.
Yeah.
So, published in the best journals. So if J.B. Joshi started with bubble columns or mechanical, which Pandit, they all see the gas-inducing impeller was a demonstration I had designed in the lab. We had, I think, the only chemist department in the whole country which has this extensive demonstration experiments, even by global standards. So I had put seen the first part, we were only 3 faculty members in 1964. Just 3. I was the only professor. I created 4 more professorships. I'm saying that you must be known by what you left rather than what you did.
Yes. Yes.
Just 1 professor to 5 professors. It was not easy to create these posts.
Right.
So, what happens in these cases is that you have to be on, if you want to succeed, you must have commitment. Total commitment.
Yes.
And integrity is not negotiable. See, if you told a lie, it will not remain undetected. You then become, you don't tell lie only once. It becomes a habit and you get caught. So if somebody in the UDCT took money underhand while consulting, I dare tell you that it will not remain confidential. Because that very fellow who told him he'll keep it confidentially, the fellow will broadcast that this fellow is in my pocket. And we had 1 or 2 cases like that.
Yes. Sir, so you were a Padma Bhushan awardee.
No, I am a Vibhushan.
Vibhushan awardee, sorry. So
Padma Bhushan was in 87.
Padma Vibhushan
It was
awardee.
in 2001.
Yes, sir.
24 years old.
Yes. So even for the Padma Bhushan actually. So sir, did you ever dream about it or
Not at all.
So it just
I
it
never
was a part
dreamt-
of the story.
I never dreamt any award.
Yeah.
In fact, there is a joke on Padma Bhushan. There was a Sunday. So phone call came to library. So library fellow came running because I was living on campus. के दिल्ली से phone आया. I said, दिल्ली से phone आता रहता है. I am on so many committees. Give me a number. Let them phone. So I got a call saying that you are going to get Padma. Do you accept? I said, what are you saying? So I even today don't know who nominated me. Even today I don't know. I had no idea at all. And same thing happened on Vibhushan, 2001. Previous day, we had a big gathering of past students of UDCT. They were celebrating their silver jubilee. And one of them was a senior manager in BPCL. So after the function was over, which went up to 10:30, so he said, I have license to go through the BPT road and I'll drop you. I come home, me and my wife were in the function, came. She was in that place, a phone call came, she took the phone, and that fellow on the phone said, you are getting Padma Vibhushan. You'll be surprised by what my wife said, koi galti ho gayi hai. Then he said, no, Manmohan Sharma, chemical engineer. He said, yeah. Then she shouted, Are, aapko Padma Vibhushan milna hai. Maine kaha, bhai, bhai. So next morning, these fellows phoned me. They asked me, you didn't tell us? I said, what do you mean I tell? I had no idea. Because they thought that I knew. I didn't know. Unlike the previous time when they had asked me. This time they did ask me. Because I was already an awardee.
Yes. So sir, it sums up the concept of कर्म करते रहो, फल की चिंता मत करो.
Don't bother. I never bothered. Keep on doing. If they get, fine. I had not aspired for a single award. The real breakthrough, people give so much importance to Padma Vibhushan. I don't care. My real decoration is fellowship of Royal Society. First engineer in history of India to be fellow of Royal Society. And second one is Mashelkar.
Yes.
That is, since then nobody. No engineer from any branch has become fellow of Royal Society. For last how many years? I was in 1990. Mashelkar was in 98. None after that. How many years have gone? No engineer from India has become fellow of Royal Society.
That's amazing, sir. Sir, so for the closing question, what advice would you like to give our audience and all of us here? That one,
See, whatever you do, unless you enjoy doing that, it will not be a fulfilling life. Whatever you want to do. Suppose you want to move into doing financial things, or you want to do teaching, or you want to start something of it. But unless you enjoy doing that, life will not be fulfilling. And for that you need total commitment. Not by the way. There is no place for by the way.
Either yes or no.
So many people bug me, "Arey, just give me once in a quarter 3 hours." I say no. My 3 hours, my mind is working all the time. So I can't give you an idea of what project to start with. There is perfunctory.
Right.
I want to give something to which I totally subscribe, A to Z. That requires a lot of thinking, requires a lot of study.
Right.
If you see my table, I still write 20 pages in a month. For 35 years I have been writing a column in Chemical Weekly, Anonymous, New Developments.
Oh. Wow.
So the guy who came for that was
So split between catalytic processes, renewable raw materials, separation technology, and general across the 6 pages, twice a month.
That sounds
35 years, never a delay.
determined. Very determined.
And why it happened? Because I enjoyed it. For what it means is that I have to go through internet every day for a few hours. So my printout, I consume 1 rim easily within a month. So I print out the abstract. That is enough for me to write a small 50 to 70 words, because when you cover this, all you write for individual item is something like that. Maximum you may go to 70, 80 words. In rare cases of great importance, 100 words. And very unusual, 200 words.
Right.
I gave an answer that I made a living doing exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's.
When I was to get married in those days, so when I met my future wife, I told her that some people tell you, "ये Cambridge का छोकरा आया है, मास्टरी कर रहा है."
Sir, there was no chemistry in college.
Huh?
There was no chemistry in college.
What do you mean?
Like.
boy girl chemistry.
Do you have many weddings? My 2 classmates married 2 girls from pharmaceutical. Well, there is a long history in university. Sibtal Lili's brother married his classmate. Didi Yadav married Vasanti. Garika married Alpana. Any number of.
So that legacy is continuing.
Oh, yeah. It should continue.
Wow.
But it's not biology, it is chemistry.
Chemistry. Everything is chemistry.
I should know one line. Chemistry is life, life is chemistry.
Yes, sir.
So one last question. We have heard so many success stories of yours. I just want to know one story of your failure where you acted as a hero and you came back. Like today's young generation, for example me, if I do some reactions and I don't get any result, I just fall down. I think कि मैं ये क्यों ही कर रही हूँ, I just left out everything. So we don't have patience. So what's your suggestion, what's your failure story where you act as a hero and came back?
I never acted as a hero.
But during that
No,
time,
I see, need I told you about this breakthrough in Bhikar. 1 year we struggled. You need infinite patience in research.
Right.
If you are doing routine things, that's okay. See, research is something where result is not known. Real research is one where result is not known.
Yeah, you have to invest your time.
So, and you have to be, I always, let me give you one example, which is you people don't know. You've seen all these water bottles,
Yes.
yeah, polyester bottle.
Yes.
Mr. Wyeth in DuPont had 10,000 failures before he came out with the recipe. And today there are 60 billion bottles made each year. Caruthers came with nylon because he was given freedom to do something original.
Right.
So I am trying to tell all the powers be in India that unless you support fundamental research and invent, innovation will not come. And they are using this word innovation very loosely. Politics.
Yeah.
They think it is kachakpatti, They call I have innovated, You take history of the world, innovations have come by crazy individuals who first invented. If you see the liquid polymer, the LCP, the liquid crystalline, which made all the visuals easy,
Yeah.
it was all done by curiosity.
Right. Makes sense.
Raman effect. Do you know that Raman effect today is
Yes.
used in security at airports?
Yes, I know the Raman effect.
No, it is used for. Now, who knew that when nuclear magnetic resonance came, did they know that many corners will have MRI?
No.
Right?
Right.
When you develop radioisotope, did you know that you will have a radioisotope by which you can find out flow of blood into the heart and get a software that what is the function of your heart?
All right. Sir, have you made any accidental invention? Like
These are accidents. Some of
no,
them are accidents.
your accidental invention. Have you
Well,
made any?
see, when you do some research, sometimes you are not planned for that. It happens. You have to be vigilant.
Right.
So, serendipity has never struck uninitiated people. When penicillin came, you know how many products are serendipitous? Not only, you always think of penicillin, but even anesthesias are accidental.
Oh.
Serendipity. Polyethylene was serendipitous. Cellulose nitrate was, Teflon was
Serendipitous.
serendipity. Aya, I think she has to do my polish.
Thank you.